Hi, Michael Levine, and today I'm going to look at an activewear garment, shirt from a company called Rhône. Rhône is, I believe, has one flagship store now in New York, but otherwise it's an online store. And I've really come to like their product. I have this shirt from them. It is their rain model. It's a nylon poly spandex shirt, 50-44-6. It has moisture wicking fabric with gold fusion technology, which is just a metallic ion to prevent bacteria and prevent odor. And also moisture wicking with quick dry so it cools. It has a raglan sleeve, which if you've watched my previous video to this one, I reviewed the origin of the raglan sleeve and how it's basically dedicated to mostly sports type apparel because it gives better mobility. The fabric is a heather. It comes in heather and solid. I particularly like the heather better than the solids. In general, they're always going to feel a little bit softer regardless of the fabric just because of less dye stuffs that were used in it. This one in particular is a very soft garment. I believe the face and back of the fabric are peached. So the washing instructions on it: machine wash cold, tumble dry low. Do not iron, which is something that I can really appreciate because I never want to have to iron, especially my active wear. And do not dry clean. It was $64 online plus freight. It comes in a very nice packaging when it arrives. This is really a classy company, and I'd like to go over a little bit of the details of how it's constructed, and then we'll take it through a run at the gym, show you how some of it performs, and then we'll sum things up at the end like always. Stick around. Okay, so a couple nice details in this shirt. I think first of all, the stitching is very tight. I would say 14 stitches per inch is what I count. This is a flat lock stitch. It's not a cover stitch. So flat lock stitch, basically you marry the two pieces of fabric together side by side, and then you stitch over both of them so they're held together this way. So there's no seam, so to speak, that can fold over. And so what you see here on the outside of the garment, you'll also see on the inside. That just lays flat against the skin. So more in line with what you would need for active wear. Especially if it's a tighter fitting garment, you don't want to get chafing from that seam. You have the tape going across the back of the neck for the same reason, plus it gives it a nice appearance when it's on the shelf or on a hanger. Very clean. You don't see any stitching, that you have that taping covering it up. No woven label in the neckline, just a heat seal. Very nice touch there as well. I think that that's a quality inherent in all t-shirts today, or needs to be. Nobody wants a label in the neck anymore. They're irritating. Matter of fact, the ones in the side seam with the care instructions and fabric, country origin, I like to cut those out as well because they can scratch the side of my waist. Looks like a 3/4 inch neck drop there, 5.5 inch neck opening, front neck drop about 4 inches. So this is a great neckline design. It keeps it off your throat. Overall, I have worn and washed this garment a couple of times. This is what it looks like out of the dryer. You see, it won't quite want to lay flat because the fabric is peached front and back for softness. And because of that peaching, it sticks a little bit to itself. It doesn't just, it's not a smooth surface. So it won't quite allow me to lay it flat. But overall, nicely done shirt. I like the flat lock stitching. I like the extra top stitching, the tightness of the top stitching. And just in general, everything you want to see. The length is about 28.5 inches. So this is going to fit a taller person probably better. I like to see, for me personally, to be 27 inches to 28. 44-inch chest. So this is a standard large and nicely made shirt. good example of moisture wicking versus just plain absorbency. You can see how my shirt is wet, kind of just from here up, because where you sweat, it spreads out. In a cotton shirt, it would just, gravity would just keep pulling it down. The whole shirt would be soaking wet. But you see the bottom of my shirt is fairly dry. And actually, when we do the moisture wicking test, we actually wet the bottom of the material and watch how high up the fabric can dry, because that's what the testing is for wicking. So this shirt will also dry faster than cotton because of the chemical on it, and makes it a great shirt to work out in. Alright, so you saw me take the shirt on to the gym. That was my cardio day. I also ran about 2.5 miles before I got in that specialized treadmill where it's like pushing a cart and then doing the tire flips and all. The shirt was a red one, so I'm going to show you the blue one because the red one's in the wash now. But overall, I mean, the spandex in the shirt allows it to stretch and move with you. The construction and everything just makes it a good shirt. What I usually go out to eat right after I finish my workout. I can't eat before. And so when I'm all sweaty like that, I can't really walk into a restaurant and sit down comfortably, especially if I smell. So you need something that's going to dry quickly and not have an odor to it. And I just can't get that out of a cotton t-shirt. But these shirts with the odor control, they have that gold fusion. So gold fusion, silver technology, Tommy copper with the copper. Anything that's a metallic ion, when bacteria comes in contact with it, it dies and it doesn't produce an odor because the bacteria lives by eating your sweat. But it can't survive on the shirt. So it prevents it from getting an odor. Obviously, you still need to launder it. It's still going to have your sweat on there. But you can actually go out and not have to be self-conscious that you're smelly. I don't see this shirt as an all-day wear type shirt. I don't enjoy wearing synthetic or even nylon all day long. I think it gets uncomfortable for me. I like to wear cotton or cotton rich during the, especially my tops. Pants I can deal with a polyester pant, dress pant, and feel comfortable. But for tops, I want it to be able to breathe a little bit better. Nylon poly spandex. So the nylon cellulose fiber, it's made from beech tree pulp. They grind them up, they extract the cellulose out and turn it back into a fiber. That's where you get your nylon from. Nylon is cool to the touch because it is a poor insulator. So when you grab anything that's made from nylon, it's going to tend to pull the heat away from you quickly, and that's why it feels cool. Like aluminum or some kind of metal would be a more exaggerated version of something similar to that. You touch it, it feels cold, it's pulling the heat away from your hand, or your hand's actually trying to heat it up, and it's so it feels cooler, as opposed to something like wool, which is a good insulator. You touch wool, it's kind of right away feels warm. Polyester is a synthetic yarn. I think it comes from, it's an oil-based make. Polyester has been around since about 1950s, and it's a good overall performance fabric. Fiber. It needs to be treated with moisture wicking, which this is, for, in my opinion, for it to feel comfortable. Otherwise, it gets stuffy. So this shirt overall, I think, was very, very comfortable for those reasons. Nylon is one of my favorite fibers for active wear, tops especially. I'd like to see them some bottoms as well, although it can get noisy when it's in a woven form. But in knits, like this shirt is, they tend to be quiet, especially when blended with another fiber. So that's the heather look. You got that from nylon being cellulose based, polyester being synthetic. Take two different dye stuffs to make them absorb color. So if you only dye one fiber, then you get the heather look. And with the heather look, you're going to get a softer hand feel, less dye stuff to stiffen it up. This fabric's peached front and back. It's about 150 GSM, I'm guessing. I didn't measure it. And but overall, I think it's a great shirt. interesting make that they have on it. If you would like to produce something just like this one or in your own version, please give me a call. I have my contact information below. I work for Aurora Investments. We have 22 sewing factories in Vietnam. We have our own laundries, our own knitting and weaving textile mills. We also work with nominated mills if you have somebody you've already developed something with and like to continue with them. If you like the information I supply in the video, then go to YouTube and search my name, Mike.l.Levine. Sign up for my channel. Click the notification bell so you get notified every time I produce a new video. And in the meantime, dress smart. Look forward to seeing you in the future. Take care.